Welcome to Mojo Talks, where we explore the world through stories. I'm Mayur Channagere, visual storyteller and your host. My guest today is the winner of the India Barista Championship 2025 and is the first Indian in 20 years to make it to the semifinals in the International Barista Championship. A lot of you know him as the Coffee Man of India, but for friends, he's known as Venki Suhas. Suhas, welcome to this conversation. We've known each other for a very long time. And as I said, you're the reason for my coffee addiction. But I'm glad, we finally got around to do this and sit around.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mayur, for having me over. And it's an honor, to be honest, to be in a podcast with a guy who's a legend in the industry that he is in, who's so famous, who's a celebrity, and I'm in conversation with him. That's an achievement for me by itself. So thank you so much for having me over.
You're making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you had many conversations with people on coffee, and people look forward to come forward and take your advice on coffee.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be prudent to have a conversation around that.
Yeah.
But before we start, go deeper into the conversation. How did you get into coffee?
Well, it's quite a long story. I've been a fan of coffee since childhood. I had never thought of coffee as a profession. I love drinking coffee, but then I wanted to open a coffee shop. Well, when in school, I used to cycle past a Café Coffee day. This was the second Café Coffee day in the country, and the whole aura of the place, all the cool kids around used to hang out at Café Coffee day. All the rich kids used to hang out at Café Coffee day. So I had saved money for 2 to 3 weeks, go drink a cappuccino at Café Coffee day. It was a occasion for me. It was a celebration. I used to dress up, wash my face, wear the best clothes that I have, best shoes that I have, and then go to CCD and then drink a cappuccino and hang out for 2 hours with 1 cup of coffee. So I decided back then that I will finish double degree, which is what the mandate was from an Orthodox family, South Bangalore family. So I said I'll finish my double degree and then open a coffee shop, and that was end game, and that is all that I wanted to do in life. But then once I started, I finished my schooling and never did nothing with coffee. I moved out of the country, got exposed to the whole global coffee culture. That's when I realized there is so much more to coffee than just a coffee shop. And that intrigued me. And then it was a rabbit hole. And one thing led to another. I started studying. I passed a lot of exams. I started judging international coffee events, competitions, and things like this. And I continued studying. I finished a diploma from SCA. I was the first Indian to do that. I was the first Indian to become an authorized trainer from Specialty Coffee Association. I was the first Indian to finish a post-harvest processing from Sustainability Coffee Institute. So it's continuous, right? So that's how I got into coffee and stayed in coffee, and then continue to stay in coffee. And now I don't think I'll do anything else other than coffee.
But you missed out a very important thing there.
Yeah.
Divya.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Yeah. So she's been an integral part of my whole success, right? So when I started business in the Middle East, it was her salary that kept the boat floating. I've only shared this story with a few close friends of mine. Otherwise, not many people know about this. We were dating each other. Then we were not married. I'd started this business. We were struggling. I was struggling with money, not her. She had a good job. And then obviously, as a boyfriend, I had this male ego. I couldn't go tell her that I don't have money. So some of the months she paid the rent, she paid the food bills, etc. So she's been there from when I didn't have anything. And we don't have everything now, but she's still around. We are married now. We have a kid. You know this. So she had nothing to do with coffee. Coffee was not her passion. She saw in me the passion for coffee, and then she said, I'll quit my job and then support Suhas with his passion, right? Which was a great thing. Not many people do that.
Correct.
And she quit her job, and then she helped me with the business because I couldn't afford a good employee as well.
She was the first.
She was,
or rather, she was the first boss, and you're the first employee. She was-
yeah. In a way, that's also true. So she had a job, and she was helping me with the business back in India with both. And then afterwards, it got too much, and she couldn't handle it. So she quit her job, and then she came in full time into the business. Even today, she handles a lot of the accounts, the operations, and so many other things. So that's how she's been supporting. She still doesn't brew her own coffee. Uh,
That's very, very important. It's very rare that a combination of husband and wife who share that equal passion comes through.
Yeah.
And I guess we are, in a way, grateful for that.
Yeah.
We're one of the very few lucky ones who can actually say that.
Yeah.
So, one I want to kind of ask you is, you spoke about how you got into coffee and
Correct.
CCD.
Yeah.
So Coffee Day kind of changed the coffee scene
Yeah.
back in the late 90s
Yeah.
and early 2000,
Yeah.
making coffee more cooler.
Yeah.
Right. Then of course we already had Starbucks on the international level.
Correct.
And there were a few other coffee chains
Yeah.
similar to Starbucks, but in India we really didn't have the culture.
Correct.
And with Coffee Day dominating the market for so long, for almost a couple of decades,
Correct.
the scene has changed now. What
Yeah.
would you attribute that to?
So there are two companies in the Indian coffee history. I would put it that way. Sort of changed how the country drinks coffee. First one was Café Coffee Day. They really revolutionized, and then they brought in the third place concept, which Starbucks was doing globally. Was Café Coffee Day, and the second one was Blue Tokai. Who taught us how to drink specialty coffee, who introduced specialty coffee to the nation, and started that whole revolution in terms of coffee. So these are the two guys that I really respect because of these two aspects. And then there are so many others. These companies obviously inspired so many other coffee brands around the country to get into specialty coffee or just coffee shop itself. Right. And it's a shame to see that Café Coffee Day is diminishing day by day. But if given a choice, if I were to get a franchisee of Café Coffee Day, I would still take it today because there was so much of nostalgia. All us millennials really. If Café Coffee Day has good coffee, I would honestly go drink it. I hope that down the line someone revives the brand and brings back that.
And you're right. We would visit Café Coffee Day for the cool factor.
Yeah.
That's how it started off.
Correct.
And then after a point, it was the place to hang out.
Correct.
Because the only other alternative to Café Coffee Day was our South Indian filter coffee, at least in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Most part of India. Café Coffee Day made that, changed that whole pattern.
Yeah.
And companies like Blue Tokai, until then, we didn't even know there's something called as specialty coffee until
Correct.
Blue Tokai, like you said.
Correct.
But today, if you see, most of these places fail when it actually comes to having good coffee.
Correct.
You might brand it whatever, but once you taste it, it's not up to the mark.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I would say education levels in terms of coffee with most of the owners that are starting coffee concepts. For even today, for a lot of them, coffee is where they put it through a grinder, they put it through a machine, and they believe that if they have a good machine and a good grinder, it's done. But it's not the case. It's like saying I've bought an expensive oven and my bakes are going to be good. By and large, people, even you ask a 8-year-old, he will tell you no. If you have a good oven, that doesn't determine a good bake out of that oven. So that realization is still not there with a lot of owners around the country. So everyone's just saying, hey, I want to buy, because I also sell equipment, so I know I'm integrated into the whole supply chain.
Correct.
Because of which I understand all the perspectives. So a lot of people say, like, if I've bought this expensive equipment, so my coffee has to be good. Correct, but that's not the case at all. Coffee is something that's ever evolving. So how that bean tastes in the morning, it can't taste in the afternoon, it can't taste in the evening. I have a single small outlet and I see this change. Correct. So this is what I want people to realize. It's a natural product coming from a plant, from a tree. So you can't treat it like something that's manufactured in a factory.
Correct.
So once that realization comes in, is when people will realize the quality of coffee will go up, regardless of what machine there is. I've been to multiple countries where coffee is more advanced. I've seen better coffees being served in machines that are like an entry level machine, just because they understand the other side of the coffee pretty well. That it is ever evolving, and then you have to treat coffee as a natural organic product and not a manufactured product.
So one, like you said, the bean evolves,
Yeah.
the taste of the bean, the roast, etc.
Yeah.
But there are even something very, very as simple as the water,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Can change the taste of coffee. So
Yeah.
if you were to take a cup of coffee, what are the key things that one should keep in mind? I'm not talking from a barista perspective, but
Correct.
someone who wants to go and have a coffee.
Yeah.
Palate wise,
Yeah.
what are the things that attribute to a good coffee?
A definition of a good coffee change is very subjective,
Yeah.
right? Like South India drinks very bold, long aftertaste, intense coffees. North India drinks milder coffees. They also appreciate acidity in the in northern part of the country, which doesn't happen in South India at all, because of our culture, because of our food culture, because of what we've been drinking since when we have been kids, which was South Indian filter coffee, which was always bold, long aftertaste, very chocolatey, dark chocolate, caramel, sometimes even burnt. So that is what we are used to. So the definition of good coffee changes from person to person. But as a consumer, this is what I would look at when I go to a cafe. The first thing I would sort of try to notice is how consistent they are. If they are consistent, then I say that they've gotten it right, because they are doing it intentionally. Right? Whatever they're doing it intentionally. So that is one of my key aspects of judging if that cafe is a good coffee shop or not. Because they've created this recipe. I might not like it. That's completely okay. But they are catering to a certain crowd that likes that flavor profile. So consistency is first thing that comes to me. I immediately call it a good coffee shop if the product is consistent.
And that would attribute to good training,
Yes.
a good barista,
Yes.
and someone who knows that, okay, if there is a change in water, change in bean,
Yeah.
change in temperature.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. But you kind of get that formula right.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, if I were to drop parallels in photography, it's like you can get the same picture. If
Yeah.
you can get that same thing, but just by changing the ISO or the shutter or the aperture, but you have that ISO triangle,
Yeah.
you've understood that technicality, then
Yeah.
you can consistently produce the same thing.
Exactly. So that's one of the most crucial aspects. And then even the equipment are like vehicles. Like you start your vehicle in the morning, could be a car, could be a bike. It doesn't perform the same as after you've done 2-3 kilometers. The coffee machines are the same. The grinders are the same. They perform differently after like 20 shots of coffee. Correct. So a knowledgeable barista will understand this. He says, hey, I'm opening the store right now, and then this is how it will evolve throughout the day, and this is how I'll have to adapt to the changes that are being done. And yes, water is crucial. Where the air conditioning is placed in a coffee shop matters a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
Tell me more about that.
I've seen a lot of places they have the air conditioning right above the coffee machine. So you're doing two things. The machine is trying to heat water and heat the coffee and push the hot water through the coffee by in turn heating it, etc. You have the air conditioning that's counteracting that. It's trying to cool the machine and the ambience. And then even the coffee grinder, as it heats up, as it starts getting used, it heats up because the burrs, which are blades, heat up as they keep getting used. The AC is trying to cool it. So when you're making multiple shots, the temperature of the bursts are at a certain temperature. As it cools down, it is at a certain temperature. It grinds different. It tastes different.
Wow.
Yeah. So
who would have thought? An AC would actually change the taste.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I point out every time when a client takes our help to set up the cafe. We tell them, hey, look, where is your air conditioning? If it is there, then move the machine or the AC. So small things like this matter quite a bit. Yeah.
So next time when I walk into a cafe, first thing I'm going to see is where the AC is.
Yeah. And the water you serve for drinking also plays a crucial role. Right? So, for example, if you have a high amount of magnesium in the water that you're drinking at the cafe, your perception of sweetness changes. if you have a high amount of potassium in the water that you're drinking, you perceive acidity to be much stronger. Right? So the mineral content of the water that you serve also plays a crucial role, because this water coats your palate, and then those are the minerals that stay back on your palate after you swallow the water, and then you drink your coffee. So these minerals either block some of the flavor profiles, or allow some of the flavor profiles. So even the water that you serve plays a crucial role. Right. So all of those things matter, and nobody would be able to point it out. I mean, even me, when I go to a cafe, I would drink and then I would just judge the coffee and then leave. But probably it was because the water I had just before drinking the coffee subdued my tasting buds.
Tasting part. Wow. So when you go on these competitions, do you take all these things into consideration, especially the water?
Absolutely. This year they even brought in the rule, because every year the contestants used to use minerals in the water they serve the judges. This year they made it a rule that the water will be for the judges. The water will be given by the competition. The water filtration sponsor gave the water. So there was a judge who walked with me when I filled water in the carafes that I was going to serve the judges. He watched me fill that carafe. He watched me fill the glasses that I was going to serve to the judges, and made sure that I did not add any mineral content into the water.
So there's ball tampering there also.
It's not really tampering, because you're actually you're allowed to serve water, and potassium, magnesium, calcium being in the water is not an additive, right? So if I were to bring water from a spring in some city, it would have a different mineral content, but I've not done anything to it. Correct. So I wouldn't really say it's an illegal thing or a ball tampering sort of thing to do, but you're basically you're allowed to serve water with potassium, calcium, etc. You're modulating the levels of these minerals. So it's not illegal. Let me put it that way. Yeah.
Awesome. And since we are talking about competitions, you have been the judge, and this time you were on the other side.
Yeah.
And how was the prep?
It's completely different, right? Like me being a judge, first time when I competed, I've lost before. So first time when I competed, everyone said, "He has judged for 9 years. He has judged international competitions. He's going to win for sure." Some of the baristas didn't sign up because I signed up. Right? I know I've had baristas tell me, they said, "Sir, you have signed up, so I thought there's no point in competing this year. I am not competing." But it's absolutely wrong. If I were to ask 90% of the judges, all the judges to perform, 90% of them probably would not be able to perform in front of others. Right? So it's a whole different ball game, because you're dealing with humans. You're not submitting a report where it's all quantifiable. Correct? So you'll have to be aware. When you're on stage, you'll have to be aware of what the judges are thinking, their facial expressions, if they are understanding you or not. Language. Can you change midway? You've practiced this for 3 months, but on stage, you feel that the judge is not understanding what you're saying. Can you change immediately? Can you say something new other than the script, and then still complete it according to whatever you had planned? So all of these things play a crucial role. And again, you're dealing with variables. That is ingredients, that is water. You would have tasted coffee with the water in the place you're practicing. In the competition, the water is different. The machine is different. So coffee would react differently. So these things are all these things you'll have to keep in mind, and then change.
At one point of time, Bangalore was known as the Garden City. Then
Correct.
It became the Pub City, and then it became the Brew City.
Yeah.
And now it is famous for its cafes.
Yeah.
Right. But one is the whole technical aspect of it, like you spoke.
Yeah.
But then there is also a lot of operational issues people don't understand, because you do a lot of consulting for cafes. You train baristas, you help them with their, the menu, the coffees that they serve, etc.
Yeah.
But there are so many other issues that people fail to understand.
Yeah.
What are the most common things that you see are challenges in the industry?
There are multiple, right? There are some that are specific to India also. To start with, it's an elephant in the room. No one seems to address, and no one seems to no one seems to talk about. And then they are shy or scared also. The Indian style of doing business. every entrepreneur who's there being in the cafe business or not would understand what I am trying to say. So that is the very first thing. The Indian way of doing business is the most difficult thing. So if you're not a businessman or not from a business family, probably you're not exposed to this at all. You think entrepreneurs' lives are pretty easy in terms you get this license, you get that license, and then you're done. Yeah. And you search online and you say, oh, this license just costs 8,000 rupees. This license costs 2,000 rupees, but it's not so. So that is one of the biggest shocker, and that is one of the biggest hurdle a lot of cafe owners face.
Can you elaborate a bit on that?
The bureaucracy and then the red tape that you face, even at like a 500 square feet coffee shop level, is something that you would struggle with on a daily basis. I'm not even talking about just when you're opening the cafe. It could be from garbage collection to water approvals to electricity approvals to your licensing, your health license, your FSSAI, music license, so many other things. There are 22 licenses you need to run a coffee shop.
Wow.
Show me, there might be few. Starbucks is one. They have 22 licenses. Show me one cafe that has all 22 licenses. Some of them don't even know what are the licenses that you need to get. There is not a single window where you can go and say, hey, I want to open a cafe. What is it that I should open, that I should get? There is nothing like that. So every day you realize this is what you need and that is what you need. And then obviously the harassment by the officials, which is always constant. We know this. It's an elephant in the room. Again, nobody talks about but it. It's there. It's there.
Can you list a few of the licenses that out of the 22? Top 10.
So health license, trade license, FSSAI, music license. If you want to play music in your cafe, you need this. Regardless of the size of the coffee shop, you need this.
And you're not talking about live music. You're talking about just a speaker.
Yeah. If you want to play music from YouTube or Spotify, etc., you need that. And you need water test license. So you need to get the water tested.
Health and safety.
Health and safety. No, this is two separate ones. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. And you need a license. You need medical certificates for your staff, right? Which is again very, very rare. And then even today, even after we having fingerprint and all of those kind of facial recognition software, stuff like that, you're required to maintain a book of attendance for a coffee shop. There is, if you're above 20 employees, PF, ESI, all of these comes in. So these are no smoking. If you have a smoking area, then you have to have a smoking license. So these are some of the most important ones.
So if I take an average,
yeah,
okay, I think roughly you mentioned about 10 of them.
Yeah.
Even if I take an average of $5,000 per license,
yeah,
there itself, is about 50,000 plus.
Yeah. 5,000 is what you'll see on the paper.
Yeah,
right.
I'm talking on paper.
Yeah. So that's already quite a bit of money that nobody accounts for. Nobody talks about in any of the podcasts. Nobody talks about in any of the YouTube training videos of how to start a coffee shop, right? And you would not have thought about this for your investment, and all of a sudden you're dumped this in the face, right? So this is one of the biggest challenges Indian entrepreneurs will face. And taxation is crazy to understand, and it is ever evolving. Right, and then there is no clarity until you get slapped with a fine. A notice comes to you and then says you have not been abiding by this particular law, which you wouldn't have known. So taxation is quite difficult to understand for a lot of people. Even for me, I mean, I've been in business for 8 years, and then I still learn something I discover something new every single day, every quarter. Yeah. So that is another thing. And second thing is human resource.
Yeah.
Right. Human resources is one of the biggest challenges, because you can find people. Yes, we say we have a huge number of youth, unemployment is very high, but you can probably teach a lot of people. Attrition is very high in the food and beverage industry. One thing you cannot do is passion. Yeah. So being a barista is not a glamorous job. You're not respected enough. Let's say I am a barista, then it's not respected. So you also need this societal appreciation, which is not there for a barista in the country. So a lot of the kids they don't really aspire to be a barista in life. So they don't aspire to be a barista. So that is the second biggest challenge. Having enough passionate people who would say that, hey, look, my espresso was supposed to be extracted at 25 seconds, but it extracted at 30. I'm not going to serve this. I will fix the grinder and serve another cup.
No.
No.
But also reality on ground is different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're running a cafe, let's say you have 3 customers, you have the luxury of time.
Yeah.
Right? But when you have about 10 of them waiting, you are on your feet. You're literally sweating it out.
Yeah.
And nobody has the patience.
Correct.
And so to understand that and also to say the example that you gave, it's not right, let me fix it. No, it's just that it has to be served.
Yeah. True.
But there's also talk about AI, technology. You can say, okay, barista, like you said, being a barista is all about that personal touch.
Yeah.
The end cup that comes out.
Yeah.
It cannot be your production line.
Correct.
But there are a lot of people who are talking about saying it's standardized.
Yeah.
Using machinery.
Yeah.
You can set to what extent have we evolved there? Are we there?
We are not there yet. You couldn't rely 100% on a machine right at this point in time, but it will come in for sure because the demand is there. Because there are some countries, labor is becoming a shortage because barista doesn't pay enough. Nobody wants to be a barista, even though it's respected. And then we have other countries where it is not a respected profession. So a lot of people don't want to be a barista. So the demand for it is there. The technology exists in other industries.
Okay.
It has to come into coffee. It is coming every year in the trade shows. There was just a huge trade show that happened called Host. So a lot of people did showcase their prototypes and their early stage equipments that can do this. So that can understand ever evolving coffee and then fix the grind size by itself, fix the extractions by itself. It is coming in and it will come in because as we go, this is a human resource is going to be a challenge in every country.
Correct.
Because people would laterally want to move to other jobs and not be a barista. So only the experiential cafes will still want to have baristas who talk, who give you that experience, who share knowledge, etc. But otherwise, the general cafes would all want to move out and then get the human resource out of there. It's not there yet. Good for India. Because we are just starting off with the whole specialty coffee scene, and then a lot of more people are getting into the industry. And if we get these machines, and then that knowledge won't get imparted because there is a machine. Why should I learn? There's a calculator. Why should I know how much is 12 into 35?
Whatever. Yeah. Let's not get into the math part of it.
Exactly. It is going to come in for sure. It will happen for sure. And it'll be a bad thing for a lot of baristas who will lose their jobs. It will happen in the future because there are already robotic arms that can make a latte, that can make a latte art better than I can. Right?
Wow.
So I've seen it with my own eyes, and then it's not unreachable in terms of investment as well. $3,000 is what one arm costs. You can program it to do whatever you want. So if I have 2 or 3 arms, then I can technically run a coffee shop. It's not fast enough yet, but I can run a slow coffee shop. No problem. Yeah. So it will come in, and then probably cafes will all become experiential. It's how you treat the customers, how comfortable are they. Everything will move to there because the machines are taking care of the quality of the product. Correct? So it's not so the baristas really have to evolve is what I'm trying to say. If they don't up their game, then we are going to be in trouble.
You're talking about how the entire experience is going to change. It's going to get automated at some point.
Correct.
Right. And then it's going to be all about the experience of the place.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at our cafes today, at least in India, you have 2 segments.
Yeah.
Right. One is where I go to enjoy coffee, which is Binky. Then there are coffee shops where I go where I say probably I might just have one coffee, order one cappuccino, but I might end up sitting there for a much longer time because there I'm not going just for the coffee, but I'm actually going there either for the ambience or for the space or just to work. It's become more of a co-working space than cafe.
Yeah.
With that being the trend, as a business owner, as a cafe owner,
Yeah.
where should I be seeing? Should I be seeing, looking at an experiential space where people can come and have a coffee with good paired
Yeah.
food?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
do I look at a place where I know I get good coffee?
So today, the consumption does not allow for us to have a place that is a hangout place. India, because we cannot sell a cup of coffee for above 200 to 250 rupees. Correct. So if I'm going to have a low table turnover, somebody is coming down, ordering that 250 rupees, and then sitting there for 2 to 3 hours, it's not going to work.
Correct.
Correct. If not, then I'll have to find a way to increase the bill value. That is, I'll have to have proper food, full meals, where that person comes and then he spends about 2,000 to 3,000 rupees or even 1,000 rupees per head in the 2 to 3 hours. Then that is when it will work out. So there are a lot of things that go into play. One is you'll have to look at your real estate cost. So if I'm going to pick up a cafe in a high street where I pay high rental and then I'm going to make a hangout place, that probably is a very bad idea. Yeah, because then people would just sit there because it's high street, everyone wants to be there and they would want to hang out on the high street, and your rental costs won't substantiate that kind of a model. But however, you're in a tucked away place, calm, nice, cozy, you have a lot of seating, your rentals are low, your overheads are low, you're a hangout place, absolutely okay, no problem, because that can sustain it. So that is how you will have to decide. So you either decide like I want to be a hangout place, then choose the real estate location according to that, or choose the real estate location and say, look, this is what I've got. There's a brilliant place for coffee, and now I'll decide what concept I'll have to do. Yeah. So those are the two ways that you should be able to figure it out.
And this is something that you cover as part of your bean to cup
Yes.
workshops that you guys conduct, right? Now, the reason why I'm mentioning bean to cup workshops is that you were one of the first to actually start a coffee academy,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And typically,
Yeah.
the typical mentality is, especially the Indian mentality, I would say, is, oh, I had this knowledge, I don't want to share.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you took a very different route.
Yeah.
You said, okay, I had this knowledge, I'm going to run a cafe, but I'm guessing the Benki cafe was an afterthought.
Correct.
Right? It was not designed for a cafe, but it was designed for as a trial place, training place for people who come in this thing.
Yeah.
So you kind of took a chance of saying, okay, let me teach people how to appreciate coffee, how to set up this thing. How does that play?
The coffee industry in general globally is like this. The coffee professionals are like that. They openly share information. They want to uplift more people. I'm lucky to be part of that kind of industry. But globally, that's the case. In India, it was not the case. People held everything together. They didn't share knowledge. Not that they didn't have. A lot of people, when I came to India, had the knowledge. Select few. But they didn't want to share this with the people. Obviously for business reasons, for whatnot reasons. And here I brought in all of this specialty coffee equipment. I took distribution. I spoke big about the country. I said 1.5 billion people, so you should give me the brand for distribution, etc. Everyone agreed, and they knew me from outside, from working in the Middle East, France, etc. So I come here, and then nobody wants to buy any equipment. So I had two choices: either educate people on what difference it makes by using this equipment, or either then stick to what rest of the people were doing and then just hold everything together by myself and then become a consultant and then make money. But then I chose the latter, because that is who I was taught from. My mentors were like this. My mentors today, random, being unprofessional, if I message them, they would still respond back to me and then advise me and give me motivation or teach me. So when I had learned from such kind of people, I also said I should be the same. So that is when I decided. One was a selfish motive of selling my product. Where if I educate that person, he will say, hey, there is better things I can do with coffee. So I could sell more product, and then also the industry would grow. I didn't really worry about if my competition is going to benefit and how will they benefit, etc. I just said, today I'm selling 10, I want to sell 12, and that's all that matters. I've grown 20%. I'm happy with it. Was my thought process. Yeah.
That has paid dividends.
That has definitely paid dividends in terms of goodwill. Monetary wise, I could have been much more focused and then just gone behind. selling more equipment and things like that. But this one from day one was a passion project for me. Otherwise, I could have just stuck to my corporate job and then been happy there. It's not that I was treated bad or I was laid off or nothing. I quit because of this
What you
kida,
loved.
if I were
The
to say it
kida.
in the Indian way, this kida. So it was a passion project. So it has paid dividend. A lot of people respect, love what I do, and then they tell me this vocally as well. And then money wise, I can't complain. I have everything that I need. So so no complaints
No
at all.
complaints there.
Yeah.
And so on the same thing, right? Taking the conversation forward.
Yeah.
Now, many of them start off with the seed capital.
Yeah.
They start with, but you also see a lot of people, venture capitalists, investing
Yeah.
in coffee shops.
Yeah.
I would say a handful of examples,
Yeah.
right? Like, for example, Blue Tokai or
Third wave.
Third Wave.
Yeah.
I'm Araku.
Aruku has, yeah, they also have big investors.
Big
Correct,
investors,
correct,
right?
correct,
So
correct.
a handful of them have had that kind of financial backing, and they have grown.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've also seen few examples where they have had suddenly they come into money,
Yeah.
and then they have rapidly expanded,
Yeah.
not understanding that getting the back end right.
Correct.
So my question to you is, does it help to have funding? Or what should be the approach? Let me ask you a very business question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start small,
Yeah. Correct.
reinvest, grow,
Yeah.
expand.
Yeah.
Then you have better control.
Yeah.
You have better your consistency, you have better quality, you're constantly, just like you say, good coffee is brewed consistently, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have that. But also it also helps to have investors when you really want to grow.
Correct.
But unless you get the back end right
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
you can't grow.
Correct.
So do you really think you should be going after investors?
So I would say it depends on what really entices you, because when you want to get investment, once you get investment, you can't stay small, because the investor has come to you so that he can grow his money, he can multiply his investment. Correct. So you can't stay small, you will have to grow, and then you will have to let go a bit of your passion, because some things that you don't want to do, you will have to do. I'm not talking about illegal things, but I'm talking about in terms of quality. You will have to take a compromise sometimes.
correct.
You will have to say that, okay, I live with this, even though I know there is something better. So you will have to do that for sure. So if you're willing to do that, yes, absolutely, investment is great. It'll help you grow, and then and at this point in time, coffee shops cannot give dividends to investors. Like, let's say I made 100 rupees profit this year, here is your 30 rupees. No, it can't happen. It can only be a valuation game at this point in time. So if you're okay with that you're looking at exiting this business eventually by scaling it and then selling it off,
Then yes.
yes. But if not, then I would say today, if you were to run a place that where you'll have to invest about 50 to 80 lakh rupees with a 1500 to 2000 square feet space, you could organically, with the profits that you have, every year open one outlet.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a traditional coffee shop, not like Benki, where we just have coffee, we don't have food, we have less seating. You run it as a proper full-fledged cafe which has food and coffee. You're making mocktails and all of that. Good quality food, good quality beverages. Yes, you can make enough to be opening another outlet every single year. If you're not, then you're doing something
wrong.
Yes, absolutely. So there is enough margins. You have to have your overheads in check. You have to have your proliferage in check, wastage in check, and costing in check. Then you can make enough money to be doing that. Absolutely. No problem at all.
So, Suhas, just take a quick break here. We spoke about your journey in terms of how you got into this business. We spoke a bit about the evolution of coffee in India, right? Especially with Coffee Day and how it has evolved. And then, of course, we spoke about your experience of being on both sides as a participant and as a judge. We'll take a quick break here and we'll come back with the next episode.
The reason why you're not able to sleep is because your metabolism is high and then you have a surge of energy which you need to burn out. Much more than in Bangalore, to be honest, in terms of number of cafes, etc. But during COVID, it also hit me that me being a completely integrated company,
You took a slightly different route,
yeah,
right? You started with the academy.
yeah, my equipment costs are cheaper. My input costs in terms of coffee is cheaper because coffee in Italy sucks. This is all the more important for India because there are not enough coffee knowledgeable people in the country.
Till then, keep smelling the coffee and keep your mojo alive.